Welcome to the Fantasy Football Hub YouTube channel for a special video. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by the current world number one in Fantasy Premier League. It's an absolute honor to have Brendan here with me. As you can see on screen, guys, world number one. Brendan, how are you doing, mate? It's a pretty silly question, but how's the season going?
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Jack. It's an honor for me to be on here as well.
That's very kind of
But
you.
yeah, been a pretty good season so far. Trying not to jinx anything, but very happy with my position, as you can imagine. So yeah, pretty happy with how it started and how it's going. But
This is the thing now. You just got to keep this going. You've had an unbelievable start, and this is the thing that we always see with pretty much every FPL winner ever, going back 10 years or so. You know, when there's been a lot of people playing the game in the millions, normally you have to have a pretty good start to win it. Obviously, you can't win it early on, and look, Brendan's not won it. It's only game week 10, game week 11, but you can lose it early on. That's what we've seen from sort of past seasons. You need to be sort of doing relatively well. I don't know if you've noticed that as well, Brendan.
I mean, it's one big feeling is that I don't feel like I'm chasing anymore.
Yeah,
And in previous seasons where I've not had a great start, it just feels like you're miles off it from the beginning, and it seems out of reach. Once you drop back 50, 100, 200 points, then it really gets away from you quickly. So I think, yeah, I agree. Being up there now definitely makes me feel a bit more confident, but it can be lost just as quickly as it can be won.
that's very, very true. That's very, very
That's
true. Okay, let's have a look at your team from last week and just give us a rundown of sort of, yeah, how the season has gone so far, I presume, how you've ended up on this team. A very, very good week last week. Only +6 in rank, which is pretty crazy, but you're coming from a rank
yeah.
of 7th. But yeah, 71 points, an amazing week, and the team looks great.
Yeah, this was a bit of a crazy week. I think, well, I had Ola Aina in there,
Yeah,
and
amazing.
actually working on the Saturday, and thought I was off to a shocker, and I was just watching. My rank was down quite a lot. Just watching the live rank on the hub like throughout the day, and it was down quite a fair bit. I think the Guardiola goal, which was great. I mean, I brought him in a couple of weeks ago, and he scored two in the last three, which was perfect timing. So that was nice. But yeah, Chris Wood has also been an absolute champion throughout my team. I had him from game week 1, and again this week, game week 10, he performed pretty well. But really, just the captaincy, solid goal. Yeah, it was a pretty good week. It came through at the end. It was a bit concerning towards the end with the Solanke goals in that
Yeah,
Villa game, but it didn't seem like Solanke had a lot of ownership. So that was okay. I was sitting at number one after Saturday, I think. I think I went up to Saturday. The Aino goal really brought it up. So that was good. That was a very enjoyable week taking the number one spot.
amazing.
I think it was also, yeah, it was a benching headache between Robinson and Aina, which actually just turned out that Gabriel should have been benched. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I
To
was glad I went with the Nottingham Forest defense.
It's very, very rare that you'll get like a big sort of 15-point haul from a budget defender. So
Yeah,
to get one of those in a season is pretty amazing. But yeah, to be fair, I'm thinking back to one of my best mates. If you're watching, I'm sorry, but he benched Aina and played Lewis, and I know the founder of
oh,
Fantasy Football Hub did the same. So you were on the right end of things there. But you know,
yeah,
you sort of do need these 50-50 decisions. Maybe they weren't. Maybe it wasn't a 50-50
yeah.
decision for you, but you need a few of these to go your way in a season to end up where you're at right now.
But that was also just insanely lucky. I mean, I don't know if you saw his post-match interview on the goal,
Yeah,
and he basically just said, "Yeah, I was absolutely shattered, and
yeah, yeah.
I thought I'd just have a shot at it." And yeah, that worked out. I mean, for me, Robinson still got the assist, but yeah, 15-pointer is very welcomed.
Absolutely. Yeah, phenomenal stuff. Now, before we move on to your team for next week, Brendan, and we talk about your future transfer plans, captaincy, etc., you referenced it earlier, and look, I don't want to spend loads of time talking about this. This isn't an advert, but you know, we're on the Fantasy Football Hub YouTube channel, and you said earlier, and we know this, you are actually an ultra tier member of Fantasy Football Hub. Is that right?
Yep, Yeah, that's correct.
The proof's in the pudding, guys. The proof's in the pudding. You know, Brendan's been an ultra tier member. You can see it on the right hand side of the screen right now, and he's sitting number one. That's no coincidence. Brendan, just tell the people a little bit about what the ultra tier membership gets you, how you've been utilizing this season, and yeah, if it's helped you at all in getting number one. I mean, fair play if it hasn't, but maybe it has.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best thing with it is the toolbox, like everything that comes with that. So the way I usually use it is I've found the most helpful has been with the fixture analyzer and the player comparisons. That's really been a great help in deciding the 50-50s, and especially when looking at transfers. And the AI is useful in rationalizing my decisions. Like normally if I have a thought on something, I will see how the AI feels about it and
Yeah,
then really see what the impact is on my overall team rating for the week and moving forward. But yeah, really just the all the data and the comparisons, and also to be honest, I'm a big advocate for the price changes. That's I'm not sure how you're really meant to use it, if it's just a kind of fear factor thing to dump a player before he drops in price. But for me, it gives me really great insight into what the rest of the players are doing. Like if someone's going up in price, then you can see that everyone's jumping on this player. And sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's not a good thing. So I like to look at the price changes. I do try to avoid dumping a player just if they're going to lose value. Because I mean, if I've got someone in my team, I like to think that they're in there for a reason. And if it's not an injury or a suspension, I don't really worry about the actual team value of my squad.
yeah.
But it's nice to know what everyone else is up to as well.
Absolutely. And yeah, actually, the great thing about the price change predictions on Fantasy Football Hub is you can see very high accuracy,
Yeah,
98.5% accuracy. But also,
yeah,
this is actually free. You don't need to sign up to use this. However, if you do want to sign up and take advantage of everything that I've shown you on screen there, guys, and loads of other stuff as well. I mean, there literally is enough time in these videos to show you everything. But I'll just quickly scroll down here to show you everything that the Ultra Tier does give you. It's currently 30% off at the time of recording. And I'm not just saying this for the sake of saying it. The current world number one is a member. So, you know, it's got to be benefiting him in some way, you know? I know this is a Fantasy Football Hub YouTube channel, but I'm not saying this just to say it. The world number one is a member. 30% off if you go down in the description right now. Sign up to any of these. They're all great. But yeah, Ultra, you do get some other stuff. You also get to go in some secret WhatsApp chats with experts as well, and you get calls with ultra experts like Rich Clark, very very knowledgeable people. So if you're not sure about a couple of decisions and you want expert advice, Ultra is the tier for you. But these are all great, and they've helped Brendan to get to world number one. So yeah,
yeah,
once again, link
yeah. It's
down below.
great,
Go and sign up. There you go.
really great.
The man himself has said it. All right. With that being said, let's get into Brendan's team for the upcoming game week. Okay, mate. So here we go. Here's your team on screen. The thing that actually sticks out to me right away is your team rating, 97% according to Fantasy Football Hub. That's like one of the highest I've ever seen, even going back to pre-season when we could build sort of perfect
Yeah,
drafts. So to have that, I mean, it makes sense that you know we're at game with your world number one, but still 97%. That's pretty insane.
yeah. It's pretty. That's pretty comforting. So that's, as I was saying earlier, like that gives me the confidence that it's okay at the moment, and I don't need to be making any knee-jerk reactions or panic transfers. Looking at it now, there's a lot of things I'm not really happy with, but it's a tough week.
Okay.
It's one of those weeks where I don't want to make any of the changes now because there's the fixture swings next week.
Yeah.
I'm also not really happy with the Liverpool Aston Villa fixtures.
Okay.
Also, Chelsea Arsenal's a bit of a tough one, but I think looking at it, Aina and Robinson are still rotating well. I think Man City are about to go on a tough fixture run. It's Yeah, there's a lot I want to do. So I was thinking earlier about just to also, I mean, because now we're coming up to the Christmas time, so it's going to be a bit busier. So my thought process is to just be getting in players that I know will be nailed
Yeah.
for as many games as possible. That being said, I might be losing patience with Watkins. Not losing patience, he's still getting returns, but I'm thinking that I can maybe get some more backup in the team by spreading Watkins out to Cunha and Raul. That's kind of the thought.
Okay. How many transfers do you have at the moment, actually? Sorry.
And I think I've got two in the bank for this
Right.
week.
Okay.
I've got two in the bank, which I am a hoarder. I do like to hoard the free transfers. So kind of the strategy this season so far has been to make as few transfers as possible
Okay.
and to kind of give the players a chance in my team before panicking and getting rid of someone if they don't return, which I think that's worked pretty well, especially with
Yeah.
no Haaland, is that I don't need to panic if Palmer doesn't score this week because Salah or Saka probably will. And the next week it might be the other way around. And I don't think you're ever going to have a team with 11 players returning, but if you're averaging it out, I don't really think you need to be paying 15 million for Haaland. I
Wow.
mean, I did think about getting him in, but I missed his price rises. And I think he's at 15.4 or 15.3 now.
Well, he's dropped back down to 15.3. Yeah, people are selling him. He might drop again. Actually, stay if you're a Haaland owner, stay on that. Use the price changes to
Yeah.
to have a look at that. But yeah, that's so interesting. So even through the first sort of 4 or 5 game weeks where everyone was saying Haaland's absolutely essential through the hat tricks, you didn't have him, and you're world number one. It's pretty crazy. I mean, that's the beauty of how they've priced it this season. I suppose no one's essential, but yeah, to not have Haaland at the start of the season and to be number one is very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. That was a terrible couple of weeks though, watching him scoring 2-3 goals.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Week in, week out.
Wow.
That was not great. But I think really the Rodri injury. I played my wild card in game week 3 or 4, I think. And originally when I played it, the plan was to bring Haaland in. But then Rodri got injured in the Man City Arsenal game. I didn't think that they would be the same without Rodri, which I guess is showing a little bit. But in the same sense, I brought in more Arsenal players when Odegaard got injured, and that hasn't really worked out.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't all work out, but I think balancing it across is what's worked for me.
To be fair, I mean that was a very good call. Because Rodri is obviously so important to that team, and we have seen sort of the decimation of that City team since then.
Yeah,
Obviously,
exactly.
they've had more injuries, but I think most people would agree that the Rodri injury has been sort of the catalyst for this slump.
Yeah.
I mean, we look at the win-loss ratio without him. I mean, I don't think he lost a game, did he, for
Exactly.
years? He didn't play in that when they had that slump last year. But looking at your team right now, yeah, Watkins is probably the only one where you could say that you're not 100% happy with him. I get what you're saying with this week in particular, not looking great. Some of the fixtures aren't great, and I think that is shown in the GameWeek rating, only 89%. I think that's the same for most teams. Most players don't have, most FPL players don't have amazing fixtures this week. But like, you're in such a good spot here. You have, in my opinion, like the 5 midfielders to own, or at least 4 of the 5. I mean, the 5th one could be Semenyo or Rodgers or something.
Smith Rowe and Semenyo are possible replacements for Rodgers, but
apart from that, I mean, those 4 are great.
yeah, I think that's the ideal set at the moment, especially with Mbeumo. The fixtures are amazing for Brentford right now. I mean, this is also an option that I've been thinking about. I don't know. I think this week I might just hang on to the current team, especially with the international break coming on. That's always a bit worrying, making big changes before that, because people can get injured and it can all kind of change quite quickly. But I think the Palmer's going to be okay.
I think he's going to be okay.
I think Maresca said he hasn't trained yet, but I can't imagine that he wouldn't be fit for the Arsenal game. I'm not sure if he's in the lineup tonight.
No, he's not. He's not registered. He's not registered for.
Oh, he's not registered.
No, but he'll register again. You can add 3 players when the knockout phase starts. I'm actually going to the game tonight. Hopefully, it'll be good. See the B team play.
Nice.
Mudryk and the lads, but yeah, Palmer was never going to be involved in that one anyway. The only thing with him that I was slightly thinking was if Chelsea don't want to allow him to go on national duty, he has been selected in the squad for the upcoming international break. Then there's a chance that they might like tactically not play him against Arsenal, but I don't think that's very likely. I think he will play that game, and then they'll probably say, okay, he shouldn't go on the international duty, and have that couple of weeks off. So I think he'll be fine. Yeah,
I think he'll be fine. I know he has a very poor record against the bigger sides. And if I was to make those changes, like to bring in Cunha and Raul, there's a chance I would bench Palmer, to be honest.
Oh, so you'd bring in both of them for yeah, because that's the thing you're playing a 3-5-2.
I'd
Right, yeah.
upgrade Stewart, and then play a 3-4-3 this week.
Okay.
And then that would also have a bit of more rotation options because I have no rotation options right now. But
Yes, I see. So this is the thing that you've got. I guess you're working through in your head now. Whether you do those moves this week, or you come
yeah,
out the other side of the international break with 3 frees, which would give you a lot
yeah,
of flexibility. But yeah, it's whether you need to do something this week. It's tough.
exactly. I mean, other thoughts are Raya out, but I think I'm confident with Odegaard coming back that Arsenal will get it together again. So I don't want to get rid of the Arsenal defense just yet.
Sure.
I think, I mean, they great results versus Chelsea last year. So hopefully more of the same.
Well, okay. Hope not. But yeah. Okay. Well, look. Obviously, you're not 100% set on your ideas, and even this week you have to wait for more news and press conferences
Yeah.
before making up your mind. But one thing that might help you is Fantasy Football Hub's AI recommended transfers. So let's have a look at what the AI is recommending for Brendan's team. Okay, mate. So I've got your Fantasy Football Hub's AI recommended transfers on screen. Guys, if you don't know what this is, if you sign up to Fantasy Football Hub, each week you will get personalized recommendations for your team done by the AI. So it's purely looking at data, predicted points, expected minutes. The overall algorithm will suggest personalized transfers for your team each and every week. And here are Brendan's for this week. Interestingly, the recommendation is not to roll or bank your transfer, which
Yeah.
you thought you might do. And yeah, I mean, I still think that I probably would. But if you're trying to maximize points perhaps for this week, the recommendations are Rodgers out for Semenyo, which potentially is a little bit sideways, but Rodgers does have a tough fixture this week. And then Aina out for Aït-Nouri. What do you think about that?
I think I think the Rodgers transfer is possibly because he's a minor injury risk, but then he was. I mean, I watched the Villa game and he looked absolutely livid to be coming off. I
Yeah,
don't think he was really injured at all, was he? And he featured in the game last night or on Tuesday night.
he did. He played 66 minutes something, which is, I think is good for his starting prospects. Really, I mean, I don't think. Yeah, if he played 90,
Yeah,
it's probably more
I
of a
think
worry.
he'll be set to start.
Yeah, I agree.
But Semenyo is a good option. I haven't watched enough Bournemouth games to be confident in picking him, but I've seen a lot of people saying that he's a great shout, and I think Bournemouth have pretty reasonable fixture run as well from now.
Yeah,
And Aina to Aït-Nouri is actually one that I was thinking about for after this week because Wolves also have a great run of fixtures, and I think the Forest fixtures turn pretty badly for the next, I don't know, 6 weeks after game week 11. But the Wolves defense is sketch.
yeah. Sorry, you can say that again. Yeah,
but but I mean, you're getting the attacking threat from Aït-Nouri,
yeah.
which clean sheets aren't really guaranteed anywhere. So I think for a budget midfielder, that would probably be the more likely change. Probably not for this week because I'd like to probably play Aina this week. I think after the international break, that will be one I'm lining up.
It's interesting nonetheless. These recommendations. I'm not sure I'd 100% do them. I like rolling this week, and I also, I mean,
Yeah,
I like the fact that you're saying that you can keep rotating that third defender slot. I think there's nothing wrong with that, and maybe you can rotate Aina through those tougher fixtures. I'm also not sure about Rodgers to Semenyo. I mean, I have Semenyo over Rodgers, and I'm happy with that.
yeah,
But I don't think it's worth the transfer. I think, yeah, in your spot, I think rolling or spreading the cash to 8 playing attackers, as you said, with the busy Christmas period coming up, might
yeah,
be the play. But yeah, if you're looking to maximize points, then that is what this tool will sort of do for you. And it sounds a bit silly. Obviously, everyone's looking to maximize points, but this is sort of like aggressive, right? This player will get more points than this player. You can
yeah,
see in the predicted points on the right this week. Therefore, do this. So yeah, food for thought nonetheless, Brendan.
yeah. I think if I was wildcarding soon, these would be likely transfers that I'd make.
Yes.
I'd just go for the kind of short-term punts, try and maximize. I did that just before my wild card when game week 3 or 4, and I'd saved up all my transfers before. made 3 or 4 punts, and all of them came through, which was
Wow.
great. It was
There you
the
go.
week Welbeck scored his first free kick. I brought Welbeck in for 1 week only.
Oh,
Got rid of
amazing.
him. Got rid of him on the wild card.
Very
Yeah, it
good.
was
Very
great.
good.
That was a bit of luck.
Hey, man, you need it. You need it.
Yeah.
There are over 10 million players. Like, obviously, the person who's ranked one in the world at any point will have had to have some luck.
Oh,
But
for
yeah,
sure.
let's see where you end up in 28 game weeks time. But there we go, guys. Those are Brendan's recommendations. Again, if you would like to get your own personalized to your team, sign up to Fantasy Football Hub. Link down below. 30% off. Brendan, I think that's going to do it for this one. Good luck. Good luck
Perfect.
next game week. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. I hope your
Yeah.
run continues. You can't. You know what's a shame now? You actually can't get a green arrow next week. Have you thought about that? I mean, mentally, what does that do to a
Yeah.
man?
Now we just want grey arrows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
28 greys in a row.
Yeah. But the one good thing was, like, when I went from 7 to 8, it was sorry, from 7 to 1, it's like a 90% rank increase or something like
Yeah.
that, which is wild.
Yeah.
So that was nice to see those for those couple of weeks.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much for giving us your time. Good luck next week. I hope you stay number one for as long as possible, and we can have you back on to catch up with you in a few game weeks time, and
Yeah.
see how it's all going. See if the luck is still with you. See if you're still running hot. But I mean, now that you're at this position, you know you're in a great spot. Everyone else, as you said at the start, has got to chase you. You can just play your game, and yeah, hope you continue to do well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, guys, that's going to do it. And we'll see you on the next one.